sticking out. My nose hairs are starting to grow. I got to cut them. All right, today's topic, which might get some bit of a backlash also, is food is not medicine. No, it's not. Okay, how do you? Okay. I'm not even gonna watch. Okay, I'll watch a minute, see what this guy says. What an idiot, dude. Why is it that when I eat certain foods and I avoid certain other foods, I start to feel better? Tell me about it, idiot, idiot. See what I mean? This is the bullshit that I'm. This guy's. Food is medicine. Food is medicine, right? Certain herbs, they help detox, right? They help support your system, right? Anti-inflammatories, vitamin C, right? Can't you understand? Are you stupid? Right? So for me, this is what I've noticed, what I've seen firsthand. I want to make sure that my microphones work. And say hi if you can. If you see me, if you hear me, say we can hear you. So I'll get right to the chase. Right? The foods, certain foods, if you know, it's all about, let's get to it. It's all about the allostatic loads. This is it. Right? It's all about these guys. The survival state, right? When you're running 1,000, and the loads. If you got too many pictures on your phone of cats, right? It's going to get sluggish. Things are going to slow down, right? So that dictates everything. How you feel, right? Symptoms manifest, right? All the shit that you've been through. I might as well go through the whole spiel before I even talk about how food is not medicine. Okay. If you heard the spiel before, which I'm sure you have, just hang out. All right. So throughout our lives, and I'm going to try to read this fast so people don't get too bored about, yeah, I've heard him say this. That's okay. That's fine. Let's repeat it anyway. Right? So we got the survival state. We got the allostatic loads throughout life. You know, it could be all the things in your life that added to this your stress bucket, right? Your stress bucket. Drop by drop. Throughout your life, if you look back, if you're a person that's sick, if you look back, think about all the bullshit you've been through. All the people that have stressed you out, all those situations, the workplace environments, toxic relationships, right? Let's go through it. Suppressing your authentic self throughout your life where you couldn't be somebody. It was a coping mechanism. Maybe your mom was a narcissist. There's certain situations you couldn't cry or just be yourself, or you were walking on eggshells constantly, right? It might not seem like it's a big deal, but eventually, if you're not able to be your authentic self, right, that builds up loads, right? Oh, my stomach just growled. What else is there? Right? We're avoiding our emotions. We're suppressing them. We're not feeling them. We're not processing them. We're not letting them dissolve and empty out from the bucket, right? So eventually things get put in the shadow and things start to build up. Maybe you had childhood trauma. Maybe certain events that happened in your life that were stressful. Mentally, anything. Physically, anything, right? So let's see, what else is there? Divorced parents. Maybe you had a toxic family life. Maybe your mom was a narcissist. School bullying, right? Maybe you were bullied in school. Family passing, pets passing. Sometimes it's harder to lose a pet than it is, a real friend. Well, I'm starting to like animals a lot better these days. Maybe you were an alcoholic for 10 years, a binge drinker, party animal, smoking cigarettes constantly. Maybe you're, heavy duty on the drugs, right? That puts a lot of stress on the system, right? So I mentioned the toxic relationships, work environment. Your boss is an asshole. They over stress you. They don't pay you enough. They play favorites. Your coworkers are bullies. They throw you under the bus, right? Stuff like that. Maybe because of things in life, you had to take medications. Things kind of sparked up. You were on antibiotics 10 times. Right? So yeah, like I mentioned, the work stress, maybe you had to take flu shots. Maybe you had COVID. Maybe you had Lyme. Maybe infections, pneumonia, mold, right? All the environmental things that were able to get you because you're in a survival state, right? And that's the only reason why they get you, because you're in the survival state. Well, we didn't get a handbook. We didn't know how to empty those allostatic loads. Our goal is to have this down to here so that the system can work for us, right? Your mental diet. Maybe you're watching the news, politics. Maybe you're on Facebook arguing with people. Maybe going down Facebook rabbit holes, talking about all the things you got to fix in your body and detox this and SIBO that and heal the gut this. It's all bullshit. But it's convincing, and it makes you go down this rabbit hole of buying supplements, fixing this, eating certain foods that, avoiding other foods to feel better, right? Which is management. It's not getting to the root issue at all. So all these things, they add up through our lives, right? Look back. Look at the relationships you had. What was your relationship like with your parents? What was their relationship with each other? Was it stressful? Was your mom a type of person that had a lot of anxiety? Did you have pressure going through college? Right? How many of those relationships did you have that were really toxic? Maybe just, the person's not a narcissist. Maybe it was time to move on, but you guys stuck it out too long and then things got toxic. You started to really repel and hate each other and a lot of resistance. And, that became traumatic. You start getting insecure, right? A lot of anger. It just gets toxic. It's not, it's not a win for anybody. So with the food, here's the thing. You start to build up your allostatic loads. You get into survival state, right, over time. Right? All these situations, you're starting to get into survival state. You're not regulating because you don't know how to. You didn't know that this is all the nervous system, your alarm system is starting to build that survival state. Normally, you're supposed to be here at 0. Normally, right? When you see a tiger or a bear, you kill it, right? So when you see that tiger, you go to 1,000, right? You're in that fight or flight stage, right? But then you kill it, and you're safe, and it comes back down to 0. So the body, right? That's your new state. It's back to standby, right? So that takes an hour, if that. So imagine throughout your years, you're going through all the things I just mentioned, right? All the bullshit, right? And they represent certain types of stress, dangers, right? Different types of tigers throughout your life, right? That last relationship with that toxic person that you were with for 7 years, that put in a lot of drops in the bucket, right? And then boom, it hardwired you here, and this becomes your new state, which is not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's just, this is it. It's a mechanism to keep you, right, surviving, alive. That's normal. It's doing what it's supposed to do, right? So then this thing fills up. It starts to overflow. Symptoms manifest. They have to. They're there to get your attention to the danger, to the meltdowns. Dude, we got to start doing something. You got to start processing some of this shit. Feel some of the emotions, right? Let that energy dissolve. And let's empty this bucket slowly. One drip at a time, and it takes time. One drip at a time. You're paying off the debt, right? You got all these debts, and you're paying it off one piece at a time with the allowing and engaging and following all the pillars and making it your lifestyle, right? And then people, what I've noticed with foods, right? They can be a good tool to help you cope in the beginning so that you can do the work. Just like any other coping mechanism, like stretching, right? For me, I had to avoid foods because my brain decided to send sensitivities. And good thing it did, because I was at capacity. So it sent out a limiter that said, no, we're not letting anything in. We're letting everything out. And we're not able to process all these different types of foods, because guess what? If you're eating all these types of foods, that's a lot of energy the body has to go through to process this shit, right? It's got to detox this stuff out because it's all built in. We have that all built in, right? We don't need to micromanage our bodies. It's all built in. But when you're running a survival state at 1,000, plus your allostatic loads are full, the brain's like, okay, we got to make a call. Throw them some sensitivities. You can't drink alcohol anymore. Sorry, sensitivity to alcohol now. Shit. When I do drink, I get a pounding headache within a half an hour and I have a 5-day hangover. What the hell is going on? I used to be able to drink like a fish. What now? Oh shit, I can only eat 2 foods now. I have 2 safe foods now. Why is that? Well, because of all the other foods that it's not that they're dangerous, right? The brain doesn't necessarily see them as dangerous, but they are a danger because of what effects it could have to the load, the meltdown that's happening. So it's not necessarily that tomato is dangerous, but it is a threat because there's more energy it has to put out to work through it. So you might have 2 foods that it's like, okay, just give them 2 foods, right? We can process that, considering, all the work we got to do. We can handle that somewhat, barely. Our job is to keep this guy alive. I don't care if he suffers, right? We're going to throw sensitivities at him. All of a sudden, you have sensitivities to light, the sun, smells, EMF, everything. Everything around you becomes too much, right? That bucket is so full. Everything, every drop can make it overflow. So the brain's like, okay, we got to lower this somehow. We got to put some limiters. So because we got all this stuff coming in, right? All these drops coming in, it's going to overflow. We're already overwhelmed. So we got to think of ways to set out limiters because we're at capacity. So you can only eat 2 safe foods. Because think about it, right? If you're eating all these 70 different foods, right? All these bananas, vegetables, different deli meats, you're eating all these types of histamine foods, like they're healthy, right? It doesn't matter. We associate to a lot of danger with these foods because of the brainwashing that's out there, right? Don't eat eggs, they're dangerous. Don't eat certain types of tomatoes. The nightshades are dangerous. Histamines. You should avoid histamines because honestly, the lectins, right? They try what they do. They defend themselves, and they release a toxin. Within 10 years, when you're about 60, you'll get some sort of Alzheimer's. Blah blah blah. It's all bullshit. People buy into it, and then when they can't sell enough books, they flip flop. They go, actually, the plant paradox, like Dr. Gundry, full of shit. But hey, he was a heart surgeon for 40 years, so he must know what he's talking about. Food is thy medicine. So think about it. When you do eat certain foods or avoid certain foods and you do feel a little bit better, it's not necessarily the foods. You know what it is? You're giving your allostatic load a little bit of a break. So then you might feel relief. So then you think it's the foods. So you blame the foods, but it's not the foods. So in other words, if this is it, if this allostatic load bucket was down to here, right? Listen to this. And your survival state was somewhat here or at 0, none of these foods would affect you. None of these environmental things would affect you, right? But I always say, I have to always be clear. You need to eat foods within reason that are not, unhealthy. Yeah, we have to try to eat somewhat healthy, right? And that doesn't mean, well, in that case, why is it that, right? Don't be eating fucking 12 chocolate bars a day, eating junk food like crazy. This is not, a permission slip to go eat chips, chocolate bars. Like, this is a little bit of common sense. We got to use common sense, right? So there's a vast amount of brainwashing out there that says most of these foods, pick any food that you look out there has association of danger. The brain holds on to that and goes, okay, well, you got a gluten sensitivity, right? Because we've been brainwashed to think that, and we're here to protect you. But it's not that. It's the allostatic loads. So, right, it's got to break it all down, filter it out with the liver, right? You got your kidneys working, you got your biome, you got the digestion process. It's got to break the food down, absorb the nutrients, get out the waste. You got to poop it, and you got the poop section, right? All the colon, everything working. Your intestines doing all the work, breaking it down, absorbing energy, right? Food, it's just energy for us to move forward and to on this 3D planet. That's all it is. It's energy. You consume it, it absorbs it, it takes out the waste. But sometimes we eat certain energy that creates more energy for it to process it. which is a problem if your allostatic loads are overfilled. So it's got to cut some shit out. So within reason, I'm saying, try to eat somewhat healthy, something balanced. You don't have to do any sort of diet, right? And before I get into all that, of course you want to live in a house that doesn't have fucking mold seeping out of it, right? Come on, within reason. But if you get a little bit of mold because maybe, you forgot that you spilled the bucket of water because you're mopping the floors, the cat was being funny, or, being an idiot, right? And then you got a little bit of mold, doesn't mean it's going to affect you because the body's able to do its thing. It's designed to do it. But here's the problem. When your allostatic loads are full, all of a sudden that thing becomes a problem. So you blame that thing, right? It's the last drop. It's the last drop in the bucket. So we assume that all the shit, all the bullshit that we went through with the list that I just talked about, right? We think it's the mold. The mold represents every drop. No, it doesn't. It represents one drop, maybe 5. Sure, maybe 5. But look at all the bullshit you went through in your life, all the suppressed emotions, right? All the times you weren't able to be your authentic self, right? All the stressors you had throughout your life and how it affected you. That's it. That's the million other droplets that are causing this mold to have a voice, to make it seem like it's this big monster, or the eggs, or the blah, 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 or whatever the medical medium thinks is danger, or all these other groups of brainwashing, right? It's not the mold, it's not the Lyme, it's not the food. So it's really easy for people to think food is a medicine. Well, because when I avoid junk, and I avoid lectins, and I avoid fill in the blanks, I start to feel better. Well, you know what? If you were to empty your allostatic loads, you could probably eat those foods, I guarantee you, and feel amazing. And I say, of course, we don't want to eat junk all the time. So here's another example. Why are people having these crazy benefits on the carnivore diet, right? This is just one example. I'm sure there's other diets where people are like, oh my God, I feel new. I feel refreshed. I feel like oh my God. Well, think about it, right? So let's say you're a person that's dealing with a lot of chronic stuff, chronic symptoms. You feel like shit. You go on the carnivore diet, right? There's nutrients in it. It's able to stabilize you. But you only eat that, right? I did that. I started to notice fucking insane changes in my body. I had my blood pressure went down, which was crazy. My skin, I would never get sunburns anymore. I had moles on my skin that started to, literally, I'm not making this shit up, man. They started just to peel off, like weird moles, or sunspots. It would disappear. I would get skin that was just gleaming and glowing, and moles that would peel off. What the fuck? They're literally erasing shit. I would poop 3 times a week because I didn't need to as much anymore. I rarely farted, right? I was not constipated. Blood pressure went down. My mood, calm, right? With ease. What else? Oh, my sexual arousal with everything sexual, right? Everything that goes with that. I felt like I was 19 years old again. Insane, right? It's like, what is this, magic? What's going on, right? But then what happens? What happens when you get off that? What happens when you get off the or whatever diet that worked for you? What happens? All the shit comes back. So what are you telling me? You got to stay on this diet for the rest of your life and be bored, right? Like, I love meat and everything, but I'm not going to fucking avoid vegetables. I love my vegetables. I love fucking grilling shit. I love eating Thai food. I love chili. I love fruit. I could eat the shit out of a fucking watermelon. Give me some lime on that watermelon. Cantaloupe, try this, right? You got the cantaloupe. You put some lime juice on it. It's like a new fruit that you just created out of thin air. It's unbelievable. You just created a new fruit. Unbelievable, right? It was boring, right? I didn't want to be stuck on a certain way of eating because I was avoiding foods because they were considered dangerous, right? I was programming myself with all the bullshit to think, well, that's dangerous. That's dangerous. Lectins are dangerous. Blah, blah, blah. You name it. Everything all of a sudden is dangerous. And you know what it was? It was a coping mechanism. The carnivore diet is just a coping mechanism because as soon as you get off it, guess what? All the symptoms come back. You get sick again. Right? So that's not a cure. You're just managing. And you know why it works? And can you kind of understand now? Well, why is that? Like I said earlier, you're giving your allostatic load a break, but it's temporary. It's not. It's a bit of a biohack. It's a Band-Aid solution. And hey, I understand if you need it, whatever diet it is, whatever coping mechanism, whatever avoidance behaviors, whatever stretches, whatever supplements that you need to use them in the beginning so you don't drive yourself fucking crazy, but do the work, get to the root. Because that shit, all of that shit is not the root. And you will always be dealing with the same chronic symptoms if you don't get to the root. And that is emptying your allostatic loads fully, authentically, feeling the emotions, without suppressing them, processing them, and fully doing the work every day. Because life's going to keep throwing you curveballs. So what happens? Okay, you go from eating 70 foods, right? And some of them that you're thinking are dangerous because it's being brainwashed into you. So you go down to one food. So imagine 70. Your body's got to break it all down. It puts a lot of energy into it, right? Puts that survival state up. Allostatic loads are already full. It can't handle this extra work. All the different, there's so many different systems involved with food. It's like it's almost taking more energy to consume energy. It doesn't add up. It can't. So it goes, okay, this is a mechanism, which is brilliant, by the way. So it goes, we need some space here. We need to open up the allostatic load. We need some relief. Give them the sensitivity, right? So you go from 75 foods to all of a sudden you got one. Whatever that food is. With me, meat, beef, and rice, right? I was pretty much getting everything I needed in that. But that was just, right? That's just a fluke. I was lucky. So just think, whatever two foods, let's say the brain said, you're only allowed to eat rice and cantaloupe, right? Two foods. What's going to happen? The system gets a break, right? This huge break, a massive break, right? So it goes, oh, fuck. We're still in a danger zone here. We're not perceiving we are in danger still. But I figured out a way to buy us some time so he fucking starts doing this shit, man. So it figures things out so that you can get your head above water a little bit, right? Okay, I'm just above, I got my nose just above water here. When before, you were like, right? So it keeps you just above the water. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to move. I'm just going to stay right here because I can breathe. I can fucking breathe. Oh, fuck. I'm starting to freeze a little bit. But in time, that water will go up. And you know what? That coping mechanism, that food that you're avoiding is not going to cut it anymore. And then that becomes your safety zone. And then it's not anymore. And then you're really fucked. Now what do? You got nothing. Well, I'll just fast it away. Try that. It causes the body to have your system to have a bigger stress response. It makes you feel 10 times worse. I used to think that, I'll just fucking fast it away. I'll just do whatever. I'll intermittent fucking 24-hour fucking maybe drive fast. Right? You're stressing the system even more. I'll just I don't know, maybe cold plunge it away. That's adding gasoline on the fire, just like the fasting. Right? And then we believe all the brainwashing about the carnivore diet. Well, this is it. You were never supposed to eat vegetables anyway. Oh, all right. Right? You don't need fiber. It doesn't matter if you do, if you don't. It doesn't matter. If you're recalibrated, it's not even a thing. The fiber issue is not even a thing. It doesn't matter. Right? People are on ketones, right? It stresses out the body. If your survival state is at here, you're at capacity, right? You're having a nuclear meltdown in the system. And then you're forcing yourself to change a different source of energy, right? You're starting to live off, your body starts to live off ketones. That's a huge shift over. And you got to maintain that. Plus you're fasting, you're literally forcing survival in the system. All these mechanisms, this is what I believe. I could be right. Right? All these mechanisms put you in a survival state. And these mechanisms were never supposed to be used for weight loss or for healing chronic illness or fill in the blanks. They were literally there for situations where you need them just to stay alive. That's it. But we use them for, I need to lose some pounds. I got to fit into that dress. So fuck it. Let's get into a survival state. Right? That's not a good idea. Not a good idea. Let's choose to be in a survival state, right? Let's start to fast, eat a bunch of fat, which is, fat's, I'm not saying it's bad for you, right? In certain environments, people thrive. It's great. But if you're doing it because, right, if you're not in a real survival state and you're activating it, plus you're living in a house where your partner loves to eat cheesecake, cookies, all the other foods, right? And then you fast and you get tempted because the brain's like, dude, we don't know. He's putting us in a survival state of fasting. We're in, it must be the winter. There must be a famine. But fuck this guy. He's surrounded by food. What's wrong with this guy? Right? You're going to lose. The brain's going to win. It's going to give you the cravings and you're going to binge. Because it's supposed to do that. You're supposed to feed. Because we don't know when the next food, where the next deer is going to be. But we're surrounded by all this food. It's going to take that opportunity and you're going to fucking store up energy. Let's eat this shit. Because we don't know. I think we're going to have a dry season of no food. We need to survive. So then you bulk up. You get bigger and bigger, right? Because you're constantly in survival. And that's heavy on the system. So, the carnivore diet, yeah, it worked. But it was a coping mechanism. And the only reason why it worked is because it gave the allostatic load some relief. You know what? You should have the same benefits, if not way more. You should be thriving without ever needing to be on a carnivore diet, just eating normal, right? But have this down here and have the survival state down here at 0 or back to standby. The system's working with efficiency, right? You're out of dis-ease, right? You're into ease, right? And when you're in ease, the system is not in survival state anymore. It works. All the systems work together efficiently. Things start to heal. The brain starts to turn off alarms, right? And it's going to do what it's supposed to do without you getting in the way, trying to throw supplements at it, micromanaging it with all these stupid tests and trying to fix your adrenals, right? And trying to detox and cock block. Your body does that already. Why are you doing it? You don't know anything about doing this shit. We'll never understand how this works for another 1,000 years. But you're going to listen to some medical medium say, no, you got to get in the way. You need to support. You need to do the detoxing for your system. No. Get the fuck out of the way. Support it by updating the program. Start emptying your allostatic loads. Bring that survival state down. And the system will heal itself. And the food is just that. It's just food. Nothing else. Right? And I'm sure there's certain herbs that can help you with certain things if you have a cut or maybe a blah, blah, blah. But that's if you're dysregulated. You shouldn't even have that situation. But we're human. We're not perfect. So I have nothing against People using certain herbs to, right? Like aloe or whatever. Sure. If it helps you, but you know what? We shouldn't be using that as our main emergency, main type of living. Consuming all the herbs, and for every little thing you have a herb to fucking, yeah, just dab a little bit of. No, what you need to do, it's this special nut from Brazil, and you have to dab it. Make sure you ground on top of that. Make sure you're grounding, and with cranial massage, you're moving all the toxins, right? That's exhausting, and it puts you in a survival state, and you're just stuck in a hamster wheel of being sick, fixing, trying to get rid of, right? We were never supposed to do that. All we're supposed to do is empty that allostatic load, update the program, and the body and the brain do what it's designed to do. And you step back, and all these environmental factors, pathogens, right? Foods, right? Mold, whatever you can think of, they don't touch you. It doesn't affect you because you're already, you have a system that takes care of everything. And it's not a stressor to it because you're down here. The system literally goes, oh, this is easy. What do you got? Oh yeah, he's a little bit of a virus going around. Okay, let's bring it in. Let's process this. Okay, we're done. Half a day. You had a half a sniffle. You had a sniffle that came and then actually went back and okay, not a problem. What do we got? A little bit of mold? Oh, don't worry about it. We're good. We can detox that. It's easy. What else you got? You want to sleep there in that house with that little bit of mold? Sure. Why don't you stay there for a month? Not a problem. You won't feel shit. Nothing. Right? Oh, you got bitten by a bug? Yes, so what? The system's taking care of it. It's not affecting you. Right? No, you're fine. What else you got? Oh, you want to eat a bunch of fucking Snickers? Okay, do that once in a while. Right? Technically, if you were down here, you could be a guy living off of canned soup every day, maybe eating a sandwich, canned soup, one chocolate bar, smoking cigars, and you can live to be 104. Or, because that person's regulated, right? Don't forget that. A person who's regulated, smoking a cigar every day, eating a sandwich, 2 Snickers, right? Doesn't exercise. No. But is regulated, is happy, can live to be 104. Compared to the person that does all the detoxing, eats all the foods that they think is healthy and avoids certain foods, is constantly obsessed with trying to be healthy, right? And exercising and doing all the things, taking all the supplements, doing all the groundwork, the grounding, right? Avoiding the danger foods because food is like medicine. They end up dying at 60 years old of a heart attack. That's how it goes. And you've seen it. Explain it to me. This is the reason. This is the reason. Yeah. Right? This is it. I could literally, there's people out there that are regulated. They can smoke cigarettes and live to be 104. Why? Because the allostatic loads is able to process it. It has room. So yeah, they're consuming some toxins, but we got room. We can make up for that. And then there's people that don't have room and they smoke cigarettes. Then it's dangerous. Anything can be dangerous in that case. Right? So food is not thy medicine. You can help. You can use it for a coping tool here and there. But that's not the main issue. That's not the main problem. You got to empty your allostatic loads and bring your survival state down. You got to start processing the shadow work, right? The allostatic loads, everything that's in here. We got to process that. When it's here, because that's the boss. This is the boss. The survival state, these guys, they work together. That is the master. Get that down. You have capacity to handle anything, and the body is equipped to do it with ease. Instead of being brainwashed by all these bullshit danger signals about foods and beliefs and detoxing and right, they're pushing this shit out, and people are they're eating it up. Well, you got to heal your adrenal. You got to heal your adrenals because if you don't, Well, I gotta my gut might have fatty liver. Also, I gotta fix that. I gotta micromanage that. I have to use all this activated charcoal, a little bit of cilantro. I gotta chelate. I gotta. No, you don't gotta. None of that is true. It's all bullshit. Okay, he doesn't know what he's talking about. See, that tells me you've obviously never been sick then. Yes, I have. Really sick, probably more sick than you. Okay, so and none of that shit worked. I went down all the rabbit holes already, and most of you also. That's why you're here. Some of you haven't. You guys are here because I put out some video content that's triggering some people about Joe Dispenza in the medical medium. So you're all new to this. Well, hopefully this helps you in the awakening. That's the goal. All right, I want to say hi to some people. Let's see what we got. I want to say hi to Adley17. How's it going? Do intense feelings of guilt make over childhood actions that don't align with your current values die down as this nervous system regulates? Well, yeah, as long as you allow them and you feel them, right? You allow that dirty fucking guilt or whatever emotion is there, let it be there and feel that shit. It's nasty. It's dirty. It's rotten. Makes you feel so, right? The more you allow the time throughout the day, throughout the weeks to feel that bit by bit, the more it neutralizes and that energy is dissolved. And it lets go of you. That's the thing. With certain people, situations, you're forced to forgive people because it's supposed to set you free. Bullshit. Talk about how you authentically feel about somebody and how you're not going to let that go. Go, fuck it. I'm pissed off at that guy. He was a fucking snake. He backstabbed me, and I'm fucking angry about it. And I'm going to feel that emotion. And I'm going to feel that emotion a couple times this week. And whenever it comes up, I'm going to feel it. And then when you do that, you neutralize it authentically, and it lets go of you. Right? That's how it works. You don't let go of something like that. It lets go of you. And then you're no longer a slave to it. That's the goal. What if you have low cortisol levels because of dysregulation of the nervous system? Should you substitute because of cortisol? Do what you got to do. In the beginning, like I said, whatever situation you're in, like some people, they need hormones. Some people need to take certain supplements. Use them in the beginning, but it's only temporary. I don't want that to be your cure-all method because it's not. Because it's avoiding the big elephant in the room. It's suppressing the big thing that we got to work on. So sometimes people can't do the work because they're dealing with these other issues. So deal with them first. Manage. This is like a dirty word in the mind-body space. Manage. Avoid in the beginning. It's only temporary. So you have the capacity, right? You have the capacity to do the work, right? To do the work meaning emptying this allostatic load every day, drip by drip, and right? So you have the capacity to bring the survival state down a little bit, drip by drip, little bit, drip by little, right? And then eventually you get off the supplements, right? You get off the medication. Eventually, when you're ready, of course, I always say, work with a doctor on that. Because they'll know, they'll do the test, and I'm like, yeah, things are leveling out. What are you doing? Whatever you're doing, and you tell they don't care what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Right? So yes, use what you got to do. Use what you got to do. That's a t-shirt. Right now, the most popular saying is, do it, lady. Okay. Oh my God, yeah, Chet. I love Chet. So glad I found your channel so that I can just focus on this and not all the other options. There's another bonus to this. You know what a beautiful sense of relief it is? That's a massive, you know that our symptoms bring, it's like, right, you got our allostatic loads. Just the fear of the symptoms alone brings another load. It's like, what the fuck? I was dealing with, where's this load come? Why I got 2 loads now that are full? What the fuck? Right? It's true. We know. Freaking out about the symptoms is the whole other 50% of the bullshit. So, trust me, right? We're trying to detach from all these bullshit beliefs so you can let go and stop doing all that work. It's exhausting. It brings the survival state up, right? No, no. Stop pulling that 747, right? Stop pulling that 747 with all the research and all these bullshit beliefs. I'm telling you, it's bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. How dare you? How dare you talk shit about these other people that are trying to help people? Why? Why would you do that? Because it's bullshit. That's why. And it's not helping anybody, right? It's hurting people. That's why. That's why. Thank you. G. Marshall. Hi, people watching from Saudi Arabia, enjoying your frankness and craziness. Thank you. There is a lot of craziness. Saudi Arabia, love it. Love it. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much for reminding me. I always forget, so we can keep getting amazing information and encouragement. Thank you very much for that. I love you guys. I really appreciate all the support that we've been getting. It's been amazing. Love it. Jasmine. Yeah, the diet info on socials has gone crazy. You know what's gone wild? When some people say that fruit and veg is bad for you. No shit. Well, pick anything. Anything. It's been bad. Meat is bad. Oh my God, it's linked to cancer. Oh my God, meat is bad. Vegetables are horrible. The lectins, the nightshades, fruit. It makes you fat. Fruit. It's too much sugar. Fruit. And there's a lot of toxins in fruit. Like, you don't know. Technically, there was a study. What else is not good? Right? The most purest thing. What? Water. Okay, water. Okay, I could see, certain types of water. You gotta have some sort of healthy water. You can't be drinking, shit with it's got like, what was that? What's that stuff that they use? I can't. Somebody remind me in the comments. It calcifies your third eye. It's good for the teeth. It is. Starts with an F. I can't remember. I can't. Starts with an F. Somebody, anybody. Let me see. Here, maybe I can read it and now it's bugging me. Now I need to know what I'm missing here. Okay, somebody's gonna tell me. Right. What else is there that's dangerous? Right. What's right? Milk. Right. Here we go. I used to drink raw milk, but it's illegal. Right. I won't touch the grocery store milk because they fill it with a bunch of chemicals. But either way, I try to make the right choices and not to ingest chemicals. But, when I fail, because sometimes I eat Doritos and eat Snickers, I'm sure there's chemicals in there. My body's going to do what's supposed to do. Right? Boom. So if I can make the right choices, I will. But it's not, it's not something I want to get obsessed about. Okay. During today's allowing, I told myself in anger, these unexpressed emotions won't digest me anymore. I think unexpressed emotions eating me from inside is a nice analogy with, yeah, totally. Right? And it doesn't have to be anger. Just saying. It doesn't have to be anger. I had ulcerative colitis. Right? I had the colitis touch. Right? And I think don't micromanage the emotions part and think that it's only anger you have to look for. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. It's the allostatic load. This thing's filled with all kinds of emotions that haven't been everything, right? So work with what the brain sends you on the motherfucking platter. Yeah, sing it with me. Work with what the brain sends you on this motherfucking platter. Yeah. So whatever it sends you on the platter is all you got to work on. If anger happens to fall on this platter, work on it. Allow it. If it's fear, don't look away from fear and go, I'm looking for anger, but the fear is screaming at you. Right? No, there it is. If it's a shoulder pain, there it is. Right? If it's the IBS and stinky farts, there it is. Got it. Loading up on cigars and Snickers. Right? There you go. But make sure you empty your allostatic loads first. My grandma is like 90 years old. Snezana. Petrovich. Nice. My grandma is like 90. Still smokes, but she won't die from lung cancer. Why? Because she's been able to preserve her mental health. I think her utter selfishness is helping her as well. It's true. It's true. There's a little level of selfishness that takes away some of the worry because you're like, fuck, I don't care about that guy. I don't care about a family member dealing with this fucking whatever. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm a little bit selfish. And they live longer. I have a couple family members that are like that. They're cruising. They're just chilling. They're smoking cigarettes, drinking beer, eat anything they want. Cholesterol's fine. Everything's great. Right? That's because they got a little bit of that selfishness. Hey, fuck, if it works, keep being selfish. It's all good. I honestly think screens and social media is as bad as anything else for our health. Yes. Because it affects your programming. Right? And it puts you in a survival state. Right? So I agree with you. Burning Bright, hello. Oh, thank you for the Debo. Thank you for the super thanks. What do you do if you had stuff since you were born? Anxiety problems as a baby, physical symptoms starting at age 9 and worsening since. You do the work. Doesn't matter when it started. You're not a special case. You just do the work and you start from there and you do the best that you can. You implement the methods and then you become your own guide, right? You don't need to follow any programs. You become your own guide and you lead yourself to recovery and living the life that you want. And it's not even about recovery anymore. It's just changing, going through the awakening, having that freedom. All right, guys, I'm going to call it soon. But hey, question. I have DPD, depersonalization disorder, and pushing myself to join yoga and exercise classes, 3-hour groups, hikes, and I'm pushing too hard maybe. Thank you. Well, yeah, you can, right? If your allostatic loads are full and you're doing things to get rid of symptoms, it's telling the brain, what are we getting rid of? We're getting rid of danger. Keep the alarms on, right? And that could also stress out the system more. When you're forcing yourself to exercise, right? That could stress it out. So always ask yourself, am I doing this to get rid of symptoms? Do I really want to do this? No? Then why the fuck am I doing it? I did that with walking. I was like, I got to walk 10 kilometers. I better stress exercise, right? I got to make sure. And then when you do that, you're just doing it to get rid of the cortisol. But you should be doing it because you love it. So when you do it because you love it, the survival state comes down. And all those benefits, those health benefits happen as a consequence. Right. So if you're doing the breath work, would you really, if you were fully regulated, would you be out there huffing and puffing for fun? Probably not. Okay. Fluoride, thank you. Thank you. Right? So it'd be nice not to have the fluoride in the water. But if you drink it, it's not going to kill you because if you're regulated, the system is able to handle it with ease. And it won't calcify the third eye. It won't. Thank you. Thanks for the help, guys. I don't really like talking about medication just because, you know, I got to cover my ass. So you look into my eyes. What do you think? There you go. There's your answer. Yeah. Today was an angry day, but lately, a lot of sadness. Well, today's a sadness day. We're doing sadness today. Allow it. Don't analyze it. Don't analyze it. Don't micromanage it, right? It's going to be all over the place. This journey, everything's on the table. Anything can happen. Let's fucking do it. Let's go crazy. Let's do some crazy shit. Okay, so Antony, the retrograde is really, I'm getting brain farts. Okay, Antonina. Nice name. I like that. What do we do with hypervigilance of symptoms, right? When the attention shifts towards them every couple of seconds, do we allow them? Yes. This is where you got to follow the pillars because they help you, right? This is your lifeline. Start having a schedule, follow it, right? Bring the thoughts with you. Agree with the thoughts. Let them do their thing. Give them each 30 seconds and then engage. Move on to what your schedule says. Are you supposed to go to the store and get some taco meat? Go do that. Go for your walk and talks, right? Go do your visuals. Go do your elevating for 1 hour. Go do all the things that you're supposed to fill up your day with, right? Because if you're stuck on the couch for an hour, you're going to lose. The brain's going to win. It's going to hijack you. It has to win. So we got to be prepared. And this is how we do it. A bunch of things that you use to be prepared. So, because if you don't, you're going to fail. And you're supposed to fail, right? It's going to override you. Yeah, going to the beach with derealization, depersonalization. Oh, yeah, it was all kinds of crazy dizziness and fucking all the OCD looping thoughts that I thought I was going to die within a couple of days, but then I still went to the beach. And then I started to allow. Oh, fuck, what a big difference that was. I still had looping thoughts, but they were just kind of like, I'm like, yeah. Before they're like, you're going to die in 3, 2, no, in 3, 4, 5. Well, it's going up now. Yeah, you're not going to die right now. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be an easy result, right? So that's even worse. When you think you're going to die right now, at least you're like, okay, it's over. We're moving on. I've accepted my fate. I'm going to pass on and transition, right? And then it goes, not yet, but in 2 years. Fuck, that's even worse. Yep, I know what it's like to suffer, right? It's like a dark night of the soul. Don't worry about fluoride. Just worry about bringing your survival state down and your allostatic loads down. The fluoride is not even a thing. But I say, within reason, try to eat healthy. Try not to be in a house that's painted in black and mold, right? It's common sense. This shit's common sense. So you try your best, and for the things that you might miss, right? Your system's it's able to handle that, and you should be able to eat all the foods, right? All the foods, with not having any association with too much of that danger. Klaus Fluoride. How do you find what you love when nothing feels good anymore? It'll come to you naturally. Don't force it. Just do the work. Even why you don't you're going to be going against the grain. It feels unauthentic. Yeah, so what? It's your mind telling you, okay, go do that walk. Go smile like a crazy person while you dance, while you feel like you got a log in your gut because you've got to take a big shit, but you can't shit and you're feeling nauseous. Dance anyway. Right? When you feel like you're gonna crawl, go do. Don't self-soothe and not do the work. Right? Crawl. Fuck it. Okay. All right, guys. Here's one more. What would you say? You're glad that you went through. Would you say that you're sorry? My reading skills today. Would you say you're glad that you went through everything you did now that you're out of it is literally, you're the luckiest one. All you people are the luckiest people on this planet, right? You've been picked to go through an awakening, and awakenings suck, but it's going to serve you for the rest of your life. You're going to have fucking freedom. The symptoms are going to go away, right? You're going to literally be able to create the life of your dreams. So it is a gift, and I'm fucking happy. I'm like, whoa, how the fuck did I overcome that nightmare, right? It feels so good. Freedom. My brain is not hijacked. Nothing. I hear nothing. No voices, nothing. Tell me nothing. Love it. Love it. Okay, get out there and get uncomfortable. Please subscribe. Love to love you. Thank you. Thank you, Nicole. Get out there and get uncomfortable. Get comfortable in the discomfort. Then what's the last piece?